Good afternoon. My name is Kacie Olson. Here's a little bit about myself. Here's my family. I've been married for a little over 10 years now, and we have three lovely children, Tyler, Callie, and Tommy, second grade, kindergarten, and preschool. So full of energy and excitement. And then we have our sweet Barkley, who's joined our family, who you might be hearing in the background because my children are outside skating and he's wishing he was there. But he has joined us for about 7 months. And so he's a big blessing, but it's very chaotic and loud and energetic at our house. And I wouldn't have it any other way, but it is exhausting. A little bit about my professional life. So I'm currently an implementation coach for the Kansas Learning Network. I started off as a classroom teacher in elementary, moved into school counseling for a few years, and now I currently work for TASN. And so what my role is here, we are a right arm of the Kansas State Department of Education, and we go around to schools all across the state providing technical assistance. Specifically, my project is specifically geared towards continuous improvement. And so we look at evidence-based practice, looking at data very closely, and then looking also at implementation science and using that to really build the capacity of teams, leadership teams, individuals, district leadership teams to really maximize and utilize its resources. As well, a big part of our role is building collaborative groups. So supporting leaders in knowing how to collaborate, how to make meaning of data, how to make decisions. And so it's been a great experience. I appreciate the perspective it's given me across the state to kind of see what are some amazing things that are taking place all over and can be maximized to enhance students all across the state. So been a great experience, but I could go on and on, but today the focus is about equity, inclusiveness, and cultural responsiveness. And I find this so exciting because as we work to move through continuous improvement cycles, really, these are not elements, but they all are also really the goal, right? Like we're striving to produce a system that ensures equitable results for all students and all learners. And so in order to do that, we have to be inclusive, we have to be culturally responsive. And so it's very applicable to the work that I'm doing now. And so the first question comes with school leaders, their role in creating and maintaining an inclusive culture. And it starts right with the school leader. They set the tone, they set the pace. And I'm also a big fan of Peter DeWitt's work and his instructional leadership work that he does. And I loved these 4 ideas that he has established, really kind of from the perspective of a classroom, but I think it could be applied definitely to the entire school. So really finding the value that each child brings and really purposely thinking about that. I think that idea could be broadened to the school perspective to say, hey, what value does each stakeholder bring? And are we honoring that? And are we maximizing that? And are we using that to its full capacity? Establishing that respectful class climate or school climate, right? What does it feel like to be in this building? The people who can give you that best data are parents, subs, right? Kind of outsiders that come in and they can feel it immediately. And so really kind of getting that to be a warm and inviting and open, inclusive environment is going to be very key because climate happens here on the surface that you can attend to with behavior, but it also is a mirror of what's happening below the surface, which is truly your culture and your values, your beliefs, your assumptions, those things. And so it's important to address both. Plan for everyone to participate and achieve. And I think that's key. All stakeholders need to be involved in the work. And we want equitable results, not just for some, but for all. That should be a very high expectation and a consistent expectation in all things. And then taking that community approach, right? Moving from me to we. How do we get all of us involved in this work, all stakeholders? So I thought that was a good piece and really 4 lenses for the school leader to really start with, to start to impact that culture. The other idea is advocacy, and this is something that our team is really pushing with teams and really trying to become more aware of, and knowing how to build one's capacity to be an advocate. And what does that even mean, right? Like we're still working to really define what that role is and what it looks like. And once that's clear, I think it starts with these 3 things. I kind of summed it up in my mind as a school leader in these three phases. So first is awareness. Again, what does it mean to be an advocate? What is it not? And then also awareness on who do I need to be an advocate for? So looking at across your demographics within your school, subgroups that are kind of common, right? Gender, race, those things that we maybe are aware of, but what are we not aware of? What are other subgroups that are living within our school that we might not even be aware of? And we need to kind of see, do they have a voice and who's representing them? You don't have to be a member of the group to be an advocate. So just kind of building that awareness, which moves us into then opportunities. What are those opportunities we have to become an advocate? So looking for that as well. And then once you see the opportunities arise, what are some strategies? So what can I do? Sometimes that's where we get stuck a lot, is I want to do something, but I'm not really sure what it is. And so building leaders' tool belts with what can I do to advocate for someone that fits my strengths and who I am and my style. And I titled this last slide, Creating and Disrupting the Current System, because it's really both. It's planning for the system that you want and building this culture that you're hoping to have, but it's also disrupting a system that's already in place, really people's belief systems, and because beliefs drive our actions. And so it's really kind of twofold looking at that. The first one I pulled from ASCD and the 7 ideas it gave for building an inclusive culture. I thought these were great ideas for a school leader to look at, and really more than just the leader, but the leadership team to really consider, are we inclusive in all of these 7 areas? And then when I thought about the school leader, what can they do to take charge and to change those negative assumptions? Because really that's not going to happen overnight. That's a consistent disruption of this system to keep moving and shifting and growing, right? That's a growth process. And so here are some ideas that I had. I said, first, look for opportunities to surface assumptions. We all have them. Often they're living under the surface and they're driving everything. And often it's subconscious, right? We are not always aware of them. So the more we can bring them up to light, I always love this analogy of kind of putting it on the middle of the table and letting it sit there and exploring it from all sides. So that kind of leads into number 2. Let's explore, what are those values and beliefs that are connected to this assumption? They may be true and they may not, but let's explore that, which then leads us to the third one, which is data. So let's really look at it then objectively and see, let's test those assumptions. Are they true, or are they kind of miscued a little bit? And so I think that's a powerful tool that gets underused quite a bit, tied to assumptions. And then finally, within all that, it's only going to work if you provide space for reflection and dialogue. I define dialogue as kind of really breaking it up, looking at all the parts, pulling it out, getting it big, getting all voices, all perspectives. It's not necessarily coming to an agreement or coming to an conclusion, but it's coming to an understanding. Can we understand each other's perspectives? Do I understand my own perspective? And it's an opportunity. It's really where growth truly happens and meaning takes place. So those are just some ideas I have that as a school leader, I think would be great to start to disrupt the system. Here are some of the sources that I use, and I look forward to going through this expedited course with you all. So have a great afternoon. Thank you.